This man has cerebral palsy, but he owns a factory, and he makes $10 million a year. Still, people insult him. In his country, disabled people face a lot of prejudice. The government doesn't offer enough support, so it's really hard for them to find jobs. But Lu Hong made it. He became an entrepreneur. His factory, it's a safe place for disabled workers. Out of 43 employees, more than 30 are disabled. There's Wang Ting. She's almost blind, but she's faster than a machine at her job. Then there's Liu Zilong, who can only use his left hand. He types over 80 words per minute. And old Wu, who can't walk without help, is one of the best technicians in the factory. Lu Hong's factory proves something big. Disabled people can do amazing work. The man smiling in front of the camera, that's their boss. I'm the one running the show here, he says. When Lu Hong was 1 year old, a bad fever damaged his brain. Since then, he's struggled to control his body and expressions. He walks unsteadily, and his head shakes when he speaks. Whenever he's out on the street, people stare. In his country, disabled people often get stared at, mostly because people are curious or don't understand. But for disabled people, this can feel really uncomfortable. As a child, his mom used kind lies to protect him. But once he started school, everything changed. The kids teased him, they made fun of him. And it wasn't just the kids, even the teachers treated him unfairly. Over time, he stopped talking. He was too afraid of being mocked. At one point, he felt completely hopeless. But he kept going. He got into high school. His parents made him switch to a vocational school, hoping he'd get a job after graduation. But when he graduated, no company would hire him. Some even insulted him. Lu Hong started working at his uncle's factory, learning how to handle metal sheets. To save money, he decided to ride a bike to work. At first, it was a disaster. He fell constantly, and his body was covered in bruises. But over time, riding 50 kilometers a day actually helped him gain better balance. When he first joined the factory, everyone thought he wasn't capable. They called him names and made fun of him. But Lu Hong didn't let that get to him. In his free time, he taught himself how to draw blueprints. Before long, even the experienced workers started to notice him. He went from being the guy they laughed at to someone they respected. They started calling him Master Wu. He became one of the factory's star employees. For the first time in his life, Lu Hong felt like things were looking up. He loved working hard all day and riding his bike home in the evening. But 2 years later, the factory shut down. Lu Hong had to figure something out. So he started a small bike repair business. It wasn't much, and he barely made enough to get by. But that tiny repair stand, that's where he met someone who would change everything. Lu Hong fell for Chun Mei, the woman running the vegetable stand next to his repair shop. He fixed bikes. She sold vegetables. In their market, vendors have to arrive early to claim the best spots. Every morning, Lu Hong would wake up before dawn just to save her a spot. It was his way of showing he cared. In return, Chun Mei brought him breakfast every day. Over time, their bond grew stronger. A year later, they got married. In their culture, marriage isn't just a personal choice. Family and community opinions matter a lot. Chun Mei's family worried about Lu Hong's health, but she never hesitated. For her, standing by her husband was everything. Her trust in him never wavered. Together, they proved love and loyalty could overcome any doubts. After getting married, Lu Hong worked harder than ever. His first store was a hit, but he didn't stop there. He used the profits to open a small grocery store, then a cyber cafe. In no time, he was running 6 stores.
6家店同时。
对，这个时候呢，我才感觉到挣钱那么少。
但你怎么保证这些事儿一定对，一定不会赔钱呀？
其实我没保证，因为我老婆，我干什么事情，她永远不反对。
她对你这么信任。
但是有一点，她是特别埋怨我。
In 2005, at his cousin's wedding, Lu Hong made a digital photo album to play at the reception. Before it even finished, a photographer walked up to him, but the moment he saw Lu Hong, he doubted him. Wait, you made that? Because of his condition, people often underestimated him. Still, the photographer gave him a shot.
他问我，他说婚礼录像你会做吗？其实我不会做，但是我不服气了，我就说我会做。
The photographer handed over the footage. Lu Hong went home and worked on it for 3 days straight. When I showed him the final video, he couldn't stop grinning.
你形容一下你做的这样的一个样品。
挺好玩的吧？
That's when Lu Hong made a big move. He shut down all his other businesses and went all in on editing wedding videos. Thanks to the photographer's recommendation, Lu Hong's business took off. People loved his work, and word spread quickly. Clients kept coming back, and soon he was handling more orders than ever. In his community, wedding videos are a big deal. Families don't mind spending a fortune to make sure every special moment is captured. Within a year, Lu Hong had earned enough to open his own photo studio. It was a hit. For the first time, he felt like everything in his life was falling into place. But just when things seemed perfect, he faced one of the toughest setbacks of his life. A friend pitched him an idea. Invest big money in a photo album factory. Lu Hong put in everything he had. 400,000 yuan. It seemed like the right move. But less than a year later, his business partner betrayed him and forced him out. Everyone said he'd been used, but Lu Hong saw it differently.
不是我的仇人，为什么说？在他这个半年多的跟他接触啊，他让我学会了好多知识，这个知识远远超过这个40几万。还有一个，让我也懂得了。
When he hit rock bottom, his wife didn't hesitate. She used 200,000 yuan of her own savings to support him. His mother-in-law even gave up her home so he could start over. With their unwavering support, Lu Hong decided to rebuild his life from scratch. For years, Lu Hong's business was small, barely more than a side project. But with relentless effort, he turned it into something much bigger, a thriving company with 42 employees. The internet became his greatest tool. Online, no one saw my disability, they only saw my work. To them, I was just another professional doing my job well. Lu Hong's wife was his rock. Together, they pushed the business forward and it flourished, but not everyone appreciated what he'd accomplished. One day, an employee made a comment that hit hard. I'm only working here to help him out. He's disabled after all. Lu Hong couldn't let that go.
我是残疾，但是你们来干活，我给你们工资一分不少，待遇也不高。
That moment was a turning point for him. He realized no matter how much he achieved, there would always be people who saw his disability before his success. Instead of feeling defeated, he found purpose. Lu Hong decided to focus on hiring disabled workers, giving them the opportunities he knew they deserved. For him, this wasn't just about running a business. It was about changing minds, proving to the world that disability doesn't define ability. Liu Qiuhui walked into his job interview with confidence. He claimed he was great with computers, ready to take on any task, but on his first day, it became clear he didn't even know the alphabet. Lu Hong gave him another chance. Try folding paper boxes, he said. That didn't work either. The next morning, Liu decided to give the paper cutting machine a try. Lu told him flat out, This job isn't for you. But Liu wasn't ready to quit. He spent the entire day, 12 straight hours, working at it.
天怎么样？我真的给他们都无语了。但是从这3天下来，我感觉他的能力不同。其实我都没能。
That kind of determination changed everything. With training and encouragement, Liu and others like him began to thrive. Some even outperformed their able-bodied co-workers. For Liu, the best part of his job was seeing their smiles on payday.
我每个月发工资，他们都朝我笑。哎呀，我感觉太开心了。
One day, Liu decided to treat his daughter to something special. It was her birthday, and he took her to KFC. In his country, fast food isn't an everyday thing. It's something families save for special occasions. As they sat down to eat, a young couple across from them started making comments. "Look at that idiot eating fast food," one of them said loudly. "It's disgusting. They should leave." This was supposed to be a rare, happy moment for Liu and his daughter. He wasn't about to let it be ruined. I told them, "We're not leaving." The man got up, slapped Liu across the face, and demanded he leave. Liu refused, so the man kicked him. For days, Liu couldn't stop replaying the incident in his mind. This kind of prejudice wasn't new to him. Disabled people face it all the time. But it happened in front of his daughter on the one day he wanted to create a happy memory for her. That's what hurt the most. For 20 years, Liu Hong worked to change how people saw him. He started as the Fool, became Master Liu, and eventually earned the title Boss Liu. That night, he only wanted a quiet evening with his family. Instead, he was publicly humiliated, just because of the way he looked, but years of challenges had taught him how to handle moments like this. He took a deep breath and let it go. He even tried to understand where they were coming from. Maybe seeing someone like me really did ruin their mood, he admitted. From 2019 to 2022, a global pandemic brought his country to a standstill. Factories closed, and his employees were sent home without work. For months, there was no income. Most employers would have stopped paying salaries, but Liu Hong refused to let his team down. He continued paying every employee, even when his factory wasn't making a single cent. In his culture, many workers depend entirely on their employers for survival. A boss who keeps paying wages during tough times isn't just supporting his team, he's fulfilling a moral obligation. The hardest times were behind him, and the factory was finally ready to reopen. That year, orders poured in, especially during Black Friday. The factory's output doubled. By the end of the year, revenue hit $14 million, twice as much as before. While many factories lost money during the pandemic, Liu Hong's company made record profits. Liu Hong was thrilled. His family's life was finally improving. But what mattered most to him, though, was that his employees could benefit too. He raised wages and built dormitories for workers who had no place to live. In his culture, factories often provide housing, especially for workers who move far from home. It's a way to reduce their financial burden. Liu Hong went beyond work, helping employees with marriage problems and even guiding them in retirement planning. In his country, marriage is seen as an essential milestone in life. A boss caring about an employee's housing, marriage, and retirement is viewed as part of their responsibility. This kind of extended support is uncommon in Western cultures, but deeply valued in his community. Some disabled individuals couldn't work at Liu Hong's factory, so he and his wife took it upon themselves to help. They reached out to local agencies, making sure these individuals got the subsidies they needed. Back when I worked for someone else, my boss always told us to be grateful to the company. He said the company was like a parent, putting food on our tables. In Liu Hong's culture, employers are often seen as providers, and employees are expected to show gratitude, but Liu sees it differently.
好像是我帮助了好多残疾人啊。其实我听到这里，我感觉挺酸。我今年营业额1000万。其实我感觉900万是属于他们的，其实真的没有他们就没有我今天，所以其实我是特别感恩的。
On Black Friday that year, Lou was invited by a well-known entrepreneur to attend an important event. For the first time, he treated himself to a new suit and took a photo he was truly proud of. That same year, his factory was recognized as an outstanding entrepreneurship base. This honor, awarded by government and local organizations, celebrates companies for their contributions to society and their success in business. Lou often reflects on a quote from an ancient Greek philosopher: "Life is like a play. We don't get to choose the stage we stand on or the script we're given to perform. We don't decide where we're born, how smart we are, how we look, or who chooses to help us along the way. But we do have a choice in how we play our role, no matter how difficult the script may seem." This quote became a mantra for Lou. "When life throws challenges at you, you have two options," he said. "You can give up, or you can embrace the role you've been given and perform it to the best of your ability." "I'm Lou Hong, that a fool," he said with a smile. But hey, we fools are pretty lovable. That's Lou's way of laughing at himself, a mix of self-acceptance and resilience.